afternoon, everyone. I have another little tidbit for you. Um, this also goes to say as far as the food prices going because things are getting worse before they're getting better. Okay, so I'm gonna begin to give you guys little tips and tricks to get your family through as far as spending less money but feeding your family wholeheartedly to make sure that they're full. One thing I recommend is we have to get back to cooking old school and cooking by scratch. Okay? And the reason for this is I remember coming up and everything was basically cooked from scratch. We didn't use canned goods. We basically went to the farm and we got our fruits and vegetables from the farm. And I also remember being that we were eating fresh every day when I was coming up. I'm a Gen X. We never got sick. We never got sick. The only thing I remember us ever having, and not me, it was my siblings, was the chicken pox. But as far as colds and flus, we never got sick because we ate fish fresh. We ate our chicken fresh. We ate our beef fresh. We ate our vegetables fresh. So, with that being said, I feel like we need to go back to cooking old school. And mothers my age need to start teaching their daughters how to cook old school. Um, it saves a lot of money. You could buy in bulk things such as rice, flour, sugar, um, vanilla extract, your salt, your pepper, your seasonings, and keep that stuff in stock at all times because those are staples to just about every meal when cooking from scratch. Those are the staples. I want to talk about breads. I stock flour, but I also stock yeast. Now, I recommend you going to the store. Yeast costs nothing. $1.69. You get a 3-pack. Go take $10, stock up on some yeast. Every time you go to the grocery store, grab you a package of yeast, stick it in Ziploc bag, and stick it in the freezer. Okay? I buy my flour in bulk. Every time you go to the store, buy you one food grade bucket. Get you a 20-pound bag of flour. You gotta freeze it first. Vacuum seal that flour. And then store it in the food grade buckets. Okay? It takes you less than half an hour to whip up a batch of dough for fresh bread. Less than half an hour. Knead it out on your counter. Cut it out into 2 loaves. Throw it in your oven. And you have fresh bread or biscuits every day. We had biscuits for every daggone meal. Biscuits, we used to put our butter, our honey up there, our preserved jam, because my grandmother used to can her jams and her jellies. We have to get back to old school cooking. Health wise, because you know what's going in your food. Okay? Health wise and monetary wise. You will find that it saves you a lot of money. You know what's going into your children's belly. Because I notice when I eat a lot of processed food, I retain water. I retain a lot of water. It has a lot of salt, so I'm swollen, But I find that if I cook something from scratch, if I'm off of work, say all weekend, I'm eating from home opposed to eating out when you're at work, I feel a lot better. I feel a lot better. I'm not retaining fluid, because I know what I'm putting in my food. Guys, I'm begging you, get back to old school cooking. Ladies, teach these girls how to do some old school cooking. Get off of this processed food. It's not good for us. It costs too much. we're paying to poison ourselves, basically. Start writing down recipes for these girls to follow. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start writing down these recipes for my kids to follow. Because every time I cook, they, well, how did you make that, Ma? Well, how did you make that, Ma? Well, what you put in that, Ma? Because, you know, I work constantly, so now I have to tell the kids, y'all gotta fend for yourselves while I'm at work. Well, you don't tell us how to cook it. It gotta taste like yours. Well, I made it and didn't come out right. Start writing down these recipes for these kids to follow. Okay? So they can begin to start taking care of themselves. You know, not that they don't take care of themselves, but I'm talking as far as cooking and cooking from scratch, taking it back old school. They have to get into gardening. You have to get into growing your own vegetables and planting your fruit trees. They have to re-up on this stuff. Okay, it's very important that they get this knowledge. Um, it's better to eat your own vegetables that you grow because you know what's going in it. You know whether it's really organic or not. Um, we have to set a blueprint for this next generation, for these kids, for our grandkids. We have to set this blueprint. We have to start writing everything down. Everything is, oh, you know, Google it. No, you're not going to remember the next recipe after you use that recipe. You're not going to remember it. What if the internet goes out? What if the internet goes out? Start writing things down. We have to take it back. Get that black and white notebook. Take it back. Start writing your recipes down. Okay?